Hey, welcome back, Facebook family. Thanks for joining us again. I have Dr. Wendy, my co-host,
Hi,
and
everybody.
we've got a special guest this evening. Dr. Clay Suggs decided to join us, so thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
the show and talking to us
Thank you for
tonight.
having me here.
I
Glad
really,
to
really
have you.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
So, Dr. Suggs is actually a chiropractor here in San Antonio. How long have you been practicing here in San Antonio?
Don't ask that question. How much do I allude to? 31 years.
Fantastic.
So,
Yeah.
a serious
Good for
professional.
you.
Absolutely. That's
Yep.
awesome.
That's great.
Fantastic. Well, really appreciate you coming to join us on the show.
I appreciate
We look
it.
forward to talking about some of the things that we do and then how they can work well with your patients and your practice, hopefully.
Oh yes, sir. And I'm very excited to be here. This is a great opportunity. I appreciate you having me.
We're glad to have you. A lot of chiropractors do incorporate wellness. They're kind of well ahead of physicians in that aspect. Do you offer wellness? And
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Good.
I mean, you evolve in your practice.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you're doing pain management. Sometimes that's just a matter of just helping people with their back issues, things like that. But you know, sometimes you want to evolve to the next level. And wellness has been kind of my calling card for probably about 13 to 14 years. It actually started with my grandmother, which was at a very dear age of. Yeah, and I started taking care of her, but it was one of those things where you can't manipulate a lot on a 90-year-old.
Their bones are so frail. Yeah.
Exactly. So I started looking to alternative types of medicine and nutrition.
Fantastic.
And when she started to actually go through a rehab area with her life, and I was like, wow, she is recuperating. At age 90, she had a hip replacement.
Bless her
And
heart.
you, as a surgeon, know
Yeah.
that's not always
Oh,
a
it's a
pleasant thing to
tough
do.
recovery. Yeah.
And so during her recovery phase, she just wasn't getting over the hump. And so I started introducing different types of wellness, nutrition things to her.
Fabulous.
And as she started circling the drain, as at 90,
Yeah.
she started turning back around and started getting back her cognitive thought process. Her energy came back.
Amazing.
She started doing really good pain management. Everything started coming back, and long story short, and I don't want to talk too much about it, but she actually lived 7 more years.
Wow.
That's
And
Good
was
for you.
that was a turning point in my life as far as wellness and chiropractic and integrating things. And so when I started in practice, at that point, I started looking at alternative types of wellness things, and CBD started to be looking at things that I thought was part of the mechanism to help a body recuperate a lot faster.
Absolutely.
So-
We love that. But I love when you actually see it affect someone you love, right? You mentioned her cognitive function got better at 93. That kind of change is profound.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we were. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it's she's. My legacy is to
Yeah.
her, and so whatever we can do to help improve patients, and
Right.
because most of them are under 90.
Yep.
so, let's hope.
Yeah, but not for long, right? Because we're getting so old as a
Yeah.
society,
Yes, we are.
the graying, and so I think we all need to focus more on wellness. Because when in your 20s and your 30s, you're bulletproof, you feel great, you can do anything, you bounce right back from injuries, it's all good. But when you get a little bit grayer, longer in the tooth, like some of us here, you really need to start taking better care of yourself. And there's a tremendous amount of value to be added through nutrition and better sleep and through chiropractic care.
Yes.
People who know me know that I love chiropractic. I love getting adjusted, and like if I have a bad sinus headache, or sometimes if I just a pinched nerve, anything. But I didn't even realize everything that chiropractic can do for our bodies until I was randomly at a massage therapy studio that offers chiropractic, and I think I mentioned to them one day I had this relenting sinus headache, a relentless, and I was telling Dr. Clay, and they said, "Oh, you should go next door and see Doc and get an adjustment." I was like, "An adjustment?" He had some little gun, I don't know what it is, and he like tapped at the base of my head, and then he did an adjustment, and I had been loading up on like the Allegra D and the Advil and the Tylenol, and just miserable. And before I could get to the parking lot, the headache was like 80% better. Gone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Amazing.
profound. So then I started going in for like other strange things, and trying a little acupuncture here and there, and I love it.
Well, when you start that door open to you, and you started looking at alternative types of healthcare, this is what I mean. I love what I do, and I've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And so when you see the change in people so rapidly in most cases, in some cases, obviously, it's the process, you know, and so you've got to deal with that, and of course, degenerative processes too, and inflammation. So it just depends on what's going on, and if anything is in my practice that I can help avail to my patients, then I'm all in, you know, because if you're holding back, you're reducing their likelihood of getting better, and I love what I do. I mean, even after long, 30 plus years, I still love what I do, and this is just some part of it. So.
Fantastic.
So
Well, it's not work that way. When you love what you do like that, it just becomes a way of life. And
Yeah.
every job I've had so far in the past 20 years, where I'm not working for big corporations, I'm working for myself and kind of doing my own thing. It's not work. You wake up every single day. You
And
don't
you're excited.
dread getting up. You're looking forward to making an impact in somebody's life today.
Totally.
And that's what healthcare was all about for me, and I loved it. I've been
for
doing this
you.
for 28 years. So
I love that.
I know.
Because it's not like that for a lot of doctors sometimes, it seems like. So.
True.
And while we turn into prescribers, we don't really turn into healers, and I feel like chiropractic is more, they've been a little bit ahead of conventional medicine docs in adopting wellness and learning about it and embracing alternative therapies. So, yeah.
And I agree. And here's the thing. I mean, I'll be, I'm kind of out on my pedestal here, but the thing is, wellness has really belonged to us for so long, but a lot of the chiropractic community hasn't really owned it. They've kind of engaged it, but they haven't really been part of it. And so I do functional wellness, is what I call it. And basically, you're helping the body heal from within, but that's just introducing a lot of different things to the body so we can adapt to that. And structured care is really, really important. It's my foundation, but we don't always eat right or don't do what's right here in San Antonio, and so we're subject to that. So, we gotta catch it while we can and do what we can for those patients. So.
Absolutely. And the chiropractic is really the study of the nerves and the central nervous system in large part, and how the cranial nerves affect and how they mediate pain signals. And so I think it's fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
It dovetails in with CBD because CBD, one of its primary sites of action is at the nerves. That's where the endocannabinoid system resides. And when nerves suffer or when there's a pain signal to them, they're the ones that let us know that something's going on that it shouldn't be. And the endocannabinoid is kind of our bodily harm reduction system. It's the hardwired system that we all have that tries to protect us when we harm ourselves from eating poorly or an injury or stress.
Yeah, mine's been asleep for a while. I don't know what, it hasn't been telling me to stop eating.
Yeah.
Mine too, right?
I told John earlier today, I said in San Antonio there was too much vitamin T. And everybody looks at me and says,
tortillas.
they look at me, vitamin T, tequila, tacos, tamales, tortillas,
All of our favorite foods.
tea, to go, all of them.
All the bad things.
So you got to engage with that and try to work with that process, which we're all going to do.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to happen. But if we can, again, blend it with something that's healthy, then let's make it happen.
Right.
So.
It's all about moderation, right? Because if you tell somebody they can't have a taco or a tequila, they're going to dismiss you straight away, and then you've lost them forever.
Right.
But if you just, make baby steps and tell them that vegetables aren't your enemy, and then you can have your tacos and your tequila.
And that's really what it's all been about, because especially kind of working with Dr. Wendy now for the past month, it's really kind of, my wife kind of continues to kind of help me with that. But, taking with the CBD on a consistent basis, eating more salads at dinner time or lunchtime, skipping a meal here and there, fasting is not so bad.
Yeah.
In which I was like, fasting before.
Right.
When we grew up, we had to fast because our parents couldn't afford a whole lot, so it was mandatory fasting.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you don't have to worry about that stuff.
Right.
But, but it's still nice because, again, getting into that routine, not only with the use of the CBD, but actually, we've been walking too. But getting into the walking is actually helping a whole lot.
Totally.
The circulation, feet, and pain in general, and
all of it.
and just of course getting out into the air. Even if it's
outside
been hot air
of our
lately.
house. Oh yeah. Well, it's dropping this week, so this is a great week for everybody
Yes,
to
I know,
start
can't wait.
walking and
Yeah.
walking their dogs and getting outside and enjoying the 80-degree weather. Yeah. Absolutely.
Blessing.
Do
So
you
guys,
use CBD
a couple of things I wanted
Okay,
to
go
remind
ahead.
people of
Yes.
is, we are going to do a drawing tonight, as we always do. Really, really important to make sure that you like, comment, and share. Like, comment, and share at least 3 times to 3 of your friends, family, or anyone you want to explain some CBD stuff to, or that we can answer questions for. Like, comment, and share at least 3 times. You'll be entered to win. We're giving away a 250 milligram tincture tonight, a peppermint tincture. Great for all kinds of things, for pain, anxiety. We use it on depression. We use it for just generalized wellness as well. So it's fantastic. Anything and everything you can imagine,
Right.
this tincture is going to target. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Like, comment, and share. The other thing is this weekend, big weekend for us, Bernie Market Days. Hopefully it's going to be nice and cool.
It is.
Dr. Wendy's going to come
I'm
visit
gonna be
us.
there, absolutely.
So you can actually meet Dr. Wendy and
Yeah,
myself.
come
Will
out,
be
talk
out
with
there.
us, yeah.
We'd love to sit and talk to you
Answer
guys.
questions.
We'll be there from 10 to 5 on Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday. There in Market Square, there in downtown Bernie. Beautiful.
It's a fun event, too.
It
There's
really
tons
is.
of vendors. You get outside, get some fresh air.
They
We'll
have
be
all kinds
socially
of
distanced.
cool stuff too.
I know.
I have to keep my wife in our booth this time because last time she went around, she spent almost $800.
She was shopping. Good job, Siobhan. Somebody's got to keep this economy afloat. Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, she kept everyone there in business. I don't know
Perfect.
how, but we're gonna. But it's fun. It really is a lot of fun, and then everyone's taking their dogs out there. It was just a fantastic, event. Mike Anthony was out there with us.
Awesome.
And Mike engages everyone.
Yeah, he's a
people
talker.
who are
He's a
people
good
who
talker.
don't want to talk to us. He'd be like, "Come on over, get in here."
It works,
So
yeah.
it is. I mean, he's a
great.
great people person. So he's going on
Perfect.
vacation. We're going to miss him this weekend.
Yeah,
but-
they're going to miss all the fun in
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, you're going to be in
for
Florida and
you.
Destin. How about that?
Oh,
That's awesome.
So excited for you.
Last week we did have a winner. Vivian was our winner for last week. So Vivian, I'm glad you won. I know she had won something previously before. That's awesome. So continue to watch our program. Like, comment, share, guys, to get entered. And again, this is Pain Awareness Month. So this is perfect that we have Dr. Clay here on the show.
Yeah.
Of course, Dr. Wendy.
Yeah.
Pain awareness. So we actually have some more specials coming up. So we have a 15% off this weekend. If you go out to the show, anything that we're selling out at the show this weekend will be 15% off. So we'd love for you to come out and visit us. And then last but not least, I wanted to kind of get into more with Dr. Suggs, kind of let us kind of share more about his experience. If you had any experience with CBD yet, I know we did share some products with you to kind of share with some of your patients,
Yes.
our consumers. What have you heard so far?
Yeah, when you're starting to get introduced to certain products and everything, always, as we talked about today, try it before you buy it. And I was wanting to get engaged with the CBD, industry, and my sons actually got involved in it too. Hence, they live in Colorado now. But, but in that point, we really started to learn more and more about it, and people didn't know. And I'll put myself in that perspective as well. That somebody looks at CBD as what is it? Is it cannabis? What's the situation? How's it work? And is it safe? And of course, I treat a lot of military, so they're over going, well, can we take this? Is there going to be a drug test? Is it going to be positive? I don't know. Blah blah blah. And you go, well, it's just like grapes. You can make some of it into wine, or you can make it into grape juice. So the wine obviously is the part that is going to affect them neurologically, and then of course then you have your grape juice, which is also a positive thing, but it's not going to have the negative effect or the side effect.
Absolutely.
So these are some of the things that I've dealt with and given and working with patients, and so I'm kind of still in that introductory phase.
Great.
And everything. Some things that I've kind of thought was really remarkable, and some things I'm like, okay, is it still out there, and how does it work? And there's a lot of different products, and so
Yep.
we just talked about that you never know what you're going to get into, and after we kind of discussed things, and Michael Anthony kind of gave me the insight on what we're dealing with here and how legit it is, and
Yeah.
and you kind of gave it to me a little bit more on this is the perspective from the farm to the street type thing. Well,
Yes.
to the streets.
To the streets.
Not that kind.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know.
Which street?
Texas is slow, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, that's
Sixth
my
Street.
Yeah, 6th Street probably. So.
And the great thing is, again, we have taken a lot of pride in what we produced. One of the things I loved about talking with Dr. Clay earlier today, he's like, well, there's so many other competitors.
Oh, yeah.
The market is flooded with everyone.
It is.
So how do you know what the best product is?
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. And we hear this from consumers all the time. And I was telling you about a story where I met a patient with MS, primary progressive MS.
Oh, yeah.
And she's been taking a product with one of my other competitors for a year now. and it's been doing okay for her. She's been having a great response. She took our product and had an exceptional response, which we were super happy about. And she was blown away. She was like, "How is it that your product did something more than this other gentleman said?" Well, first of all, we actually control the whole process from seed to retail. So we know exactly how well our product is being made, what's
Yep.
going on in our farms. We're testing all of our farm products, all of our hemp to make sure that the product is where we want it. It's
Yeah.
not too hot, and again, the CBD content is higher than what we're looking for.
Right.
So we want to get our CBD content up to at least 12 to 15, which is phenomenal,
Yeah.
as opposed to 5 to 7.
Right.
So that means you can take less amount of product and have a better response. And the same thing, all of our products here have a QR code. So you're actually able, as a consumer, to scan our QR code, and you can see the COA, the actual lab results that independently that are tested on every single one of our products, and you can see that for yourself.
Oh,
That's all you have to do.
awesome.
So every single one of our products has that. So again, it's what sets us apart in the industry to make sure that we're providing quality products. We work with our chemists, we work with our pharmacists to create the top-notch products. We don't like it, we scrap it and start over. Do it over and over and over again until we get the right product. So that's what, again, those are things that we've taken, steps towards to make sure that we put the best possible products out there for you as physicians, for us as consumers, and lay people who really don't understand it.
Exactly. And to just kind of add on to it, and probably you're familiar with this from the chiropractic and the nutrition piece, right? Like with vitamins, they're all over the place.
Yes.
And the CBD has kind of fallen into that same
Yes.
trap. They're everywhere, and they've done studies on it, and there's, products that have tons of THC and products that have got mercury and mold and all kinds of stuff, and that study was published. But like with vitamins, you want to look for things that say third-party lab verified, which any reputable CBD product will have that and confirm what it has by an independent lab, not their own on-premises lab. You want another outside source to verify it. You want it to be organic, and you do want it to be to have some sort of certificate that it's a CGMP production
Yes.
facility. And then I forgot what I was going to say. The comment that you made the other day about running the THC on the lower end, right? Some people dance right around that 0.3%, which is well and good, but you're just, by definition of working with a plant product, going to go above it. And for your population that, or the military population, or the teachers, or whoever is at risk for a drug screen, an isolate is a really good option, or a broad spectrum product, something
absolutely.
that doesn't have any THC, so they won't be at risk.
Right.
I think those are great options. Personally, I'm just totally in love with full spectrum products
Yes.
because of the added benefit, but there still is tremendous value and relief that can be obtained without the THC in the product.
Right.
So,
And we also clone a lot of our products to make sure that we're cloning mother plants that have higher concentrations of CBD and less concentrations of THC. That way we get the same plant over and over and over again, so that all of our products are consistent. Because again, these are plants. You can't essentially tell this plant, grow this way. Someone
Right,
wants you
exactly.
to grow. But with our new parent company, they are creating genetics that are allowing them to get the seed exactly to where we want it to be, and then grow it the way that we want it to grow it.
Wow.
So yeah,
Fascinating.
yeah.
Yeah.
First Seeds
Pretty cool.
is doing some great things for us. We're really excited
that's
about
so
that.
exciting.
So-
It's just like wine, right? Like you buy the same vineyard, you love their, Pinot Noir. It's going to be slightly different from year to year, but this cloning business and then the
Oh, I know. It's
the
absolutely
indoor growing
amazing.
is phenomenal. Yeah.
And we have a video of all that. The guys took video of the cloning process. You can kind of see the cloning. You go to our website, there's a video. You can actually see what our farms in Fireball look like, and with the cloning
Yeah.
aspect of it, it's fantastic. It's really, really cool.
That's nice because some people, when they switch, or even within a particular line, you might have really good control of your symptomatology, and then the next bottle that you buy, you don't have as good a control, and you just are left wondering, did something change with the product, or is there some factor in my body that's not allowing me to have as good a response? And so you can depend on it and expect a more consistent result, which is what we want for the patients.
Right.
Right.
So we have a consumer, actually, Sarah Baca is actually telling us she tweaked her back a few weeks ago. She used our roller, and she felt so much better the very next day. So
Great.
that's really awesome to hear.
And Desmond likes it too.
Kimmy Mendes, all same thing. The roll-on for her was amazing. She loves it.
I keep mine in my purse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I really enjoy hearing that. And then we have somebody else asking here, what's your top product, number one seller? Just curious. So if I had to pick our number one seller, I would say probably our tinctures are probably our number one sellers. A lot of consumers really like tinctures. And then our topical or transdermal cream, which is our lidocaine with the menthol and the CBD combination, that works fantastic as well. I mean, because those consumers that use that's the one that we gave you, Dr. Clay,
Yes.
to use on your patient. That one has a great response usually within 3 to 6 minutes, because of the lidocaine that gives them that immediate relief. Then the menthol, and of course then the CBD.
The DMSO,
Yeah, it just works fantastically. So probably those are our top 2 products. Of course, everyone loves gummies.
Yeah,
you know,
of
gummies
course.
are just so
Yes,
easy to so
yes.
easy to take. And our gummies actually, if you look at our COAs on our gummies, most of our gummies usually test over the usual dosage. So we say 25 milligrams. Most of mine test at about 27 to 28 milligrams of CBD in every single cube. For us, that's important, because if you go back and you look at some of the cubes that people are selling, I was looking at one, somebody was selling some on some website the other day that I got on my phone. I don't know how they get my phone number, but they do just a mass mailing. So I got this thing, I clicked on it, it says, buy some gummies, 500 milligram gummies. When you go back and look at it, it's 3.7 milligrams per gummy.
That's nothing.
That's nothing. So they're just taking, they're essentially taking a gummy and get no response. So then you can have a consumer who takes that and says, I took 2 or 3 of them. They didn't do anything for me.
CBD doesn't work.
Yeah, and so they kind of give us a bad name, because what happens is when those consumers have those things, I bought it from somebody on the internet. It was supposedly a really great thing because everyone got this flyer or this ad, but then when they get it, it's not really a good product. So when you break it down to see what it is, as opposed to their CO versus ours, our COA actually shows you're getting a lot of CBD in that tiny little gummy.
Right.
So big difference to what they get there and what they get here.
Yeah.
So again, it's all about, one of the things I told you earlier is, for me, the proof's in the pudding. I tell everyone that all the time.
Exactly.
And that's how we get consumers. It's word of mouth. It's physicians like yourself who are able to kind of share with their patients the experience that you have with your patients, Wendy, with your patients, and the consumers that we have. I work with a lot of consumers day in and day out, and they're always asking me, what should I do here? What should I do there? And one of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to oversell them. I want them to buy the least amount they have to and have a great response.
Right.
Because I don't, my wife and I are not in this for the money. We're in this to make an impact in healthcare. We made an impact with my wife's life just by moving from all of the 10 agents she was on for biologic agents and DMARDs and everything else because of her disease into moving to CBD. I just want everyone else out there to see how amazing this product is and see what they can do for themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what our goal is.
I agree. Yep.
Well, what people don't realize is they think, vitamin D is vitamin D, or vitamin E is vitamin E. Just like there's organic food, there's junk food.
Yeah.
Well, there's organic nutrition and there's junk nutrition. And even a lot of people don't realize that some of that junk nutrition is made by pharmaceutical companies. And they're there because, we know if you're not going to do good on these vitamins, then you're still going to need our pharmaceutical products. Yeah. And the whole thing, what I look at is, and I heard a saying, that the best doctors are the doctors that try to keep you off medication.
Right.
And so we're trying to prevent a lot of things from happening with patients, and the opioids and all these things are really used, and so we have to present or provide a alternative mechanism for them to move forward with pain management, or just getting healthy, or just feeling good.
Right.
So
with their anxiety and their depression too, and the pharmaceutical offerings aren't really good for anxiety, except for benzos, which are sedating and addicting and habit forming and tolerance buildup. So it's a great option. And then the other pieces that people still don't know about, I think the education piece is so crucial, because like you were saying, people just don't know. Like, they buy a bottle and they think like, I took some and it didn't work. Well, maybe you needed a stronger concentration, or maybe yours was an isolate and you really need a broad spectrum product. So there's a lot of questions and a lack of knowledge, because it's relatively new, and because Texas we're still trying to break down barriers. But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And for us, I think that the great thing about this is we as healthcare professionals, we have that opportunity, that voice to go and share this information with consumers.
Absolutely.
Because again, if we're just a layperson, of course, I saw it on Facebook, or my friends or family, of course they'll definitely do it, because we did it, we tried it, and it worked. But if we can get out there as healthcare professionals and show our patients what they can do, as opposed to any of the opioids or any of the other, addicting medications there's so many out there. I was telling Dr. Clay about some of the SSI inhibitors that
Yes.
my child was on before.
Yeah.
And one of the problems that we ran into was the suicidal ideation.
Yep.
It's very, very common, and a lot of
in
parents
adolescence.
in adolescence. We see that so often. So moving here off of that and onto CBD has just been phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And I think it's, I mean, I can't speak for everybody else, but as a physician who has a child who's been on these agents too, when she was being prescribed Paxil and Zoloft and all these other things, honestly, I just was worried about my child. And I'm a doctor. I've been doing this I'm not green at all. But I didn't do as much research on it. So it wasn't until later when I started learning more about cannabis products and the real risks and benefits of cannabis versus pharmaceuticals that, like, some of the SSRIs, it's not only increased suicidal ideation that was shown linked with SSRIs, it was completed suicides that were increased in adolescent users of these medications. And I think a lot of physicians aren't aware of these risks. We're told that they're safe. We're told that they passed through their FDA phase 3 trials, and they're brought to us and told what great adjuncts they're going to be and to start prescribing them. And you don't have time to read every single study that somebody brings you, so you trust and you move forward, and you may not know the risks that go along with it. So agreed, less is more when it comes to the drugs that you need to take. And so
Yeah, I was sharing with John earlier today, and just a story that happened. But I had a handyman that fell through the roof, our ceiling, and I actually watched it through our garage, and he hit the ground, and I just literally was like, "What was that?" And we got over there, and I called my fiance, who was also a patient of yours years ago.
Yeah.
But what was funny is we get there, and we're trying to, not funny at the time, I'll say that, is we're trying to make sure that he's okay and everything. And he said, "Oh my gosh, I think I broke my back. I've had surgery before and all this stuff." So we're just freaking out.
Right.
And one of the fear factors, and after that, and he's actually recovered and done pretty well. But what I didn't realize, as we were kind of tail-feathering on what y'all were saying, that he had been addicted to meds and everything, and was very susceptible to that. And so this is playing on me, and on us right now. And we're like, what if he got hooked on these drugs again? And what if something happens? And that's kind of indirectly something that we have to live with. So we are promoting the products, and I'm giving him the products, and I say, you need to try this and get serious with this, because this could possibly help you and prevent catastrophe or something from him moving forward with his life. So it's a very serious thing.
Completely.
So, and your kids and that too.
The other interesting piece about cannabis medicine products, because I've had patients say that to me, like, "Oh no, I'm in recovery. I don't want to take an illicit drug," right? But there's actually pretty compelling data that at least CBD and the amounts that we're talking about of THC concentration, really, really nominal, tiny amounts, actually show benefit and decrease addiction. So that's just another one of the new areas that CBD and cannabis medicines are being looked at to have benefit, to help people who are struggling with addictions to overcome their addictions. So this is something that might help exponentiate the effect of their pain medications. They might get a stronger relief when they use it in combination, but they're not at risk for becoming dependent upon this product.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we had a question from Andrea Palmer. She's asking if we have any bath bombs. So unfortunately, we don't have any bath bombs as of yet. But Andrea, I will get with Siobhan to make sure we start working on something like that. So
absolutely.
Andrea is actually one of my old director of nurses that she used to work with me at my old company.
Fun.
So miss her. She just had a baby recently. So congratulations. And Dr. Morell, he's on again. Good to see you, Dr. Morell.
And Desmond commented about the melatonin pills. I love that product. I say that every episode. But the CBD melatonin capsules for sleep, wow.
That's also probably one of our number one sellers. We sell so many of those capsules. It's just a great component because, like I talked to you about earlier, is it's 110 milligrams of CBD with 10 milligrams of melatonin. So of course melatonin gets you to sleep, and then the CBD gets you to REM and keeps you in REM for an extended period of time.
It's really a great product. I love that product.
You don't wake up with that morning hangover.
Oh, no.
You don't have a hard time getting up out of bed.
Yeah.
And I was telling him I've been able to sleep through the night without having to get up and go to the bathroom 3 or 4 times a night.
Which is a
for
big
me,
deal. It's a big
amazing.
deal. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it is.
It's amazing for me.
You got to provide, water and sleep.
Yeah.
And if you can't hydrate and you can't sleep, there's going to be a problem. And that's something that a lot of people don't really recognize as being a potential, because that's when you're healing at night.
Exactly.
And so a good sleep pattern is really, really important.
Foundational.
So, amen.
Completely.
And then Lori, she says she missed us at Bernie Market Days. Actually, we are going to be there again this weekend, Lori. So come out and visit us.
Hopefully it'll be better weather.
Yes, hopefully it's going to be nice and cool this weekend. We'll see. We'll be there on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday from 10 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 4 in Bernie. So come visit us down there in Bernie. We'd love to see you again. So one of the other things I wanted to ask you, Dr. Suggs, was tell us more about your business. What exactly do you do in your day-to-day business?
Okay, well, that's an open-ended question. I'm there after so many years. You're just there to help your patient base and engage new patients and kind of still it's almost to a point where you think everybody knows about what we do and how it is and everything, and then you see, no, I've never been to a chiropractor, I've never been to a wellness doctor, I've never tried alternative care. And so it really you have to kind of reinvent the wheel and kind of break that mold of I'm just thinking over here, now I need to start thinking outside the box. And so people don't realize, and as much information is distributed, we don't really draw into it. And it really takes still a one-on-one thing, I feel, to educate a patient and engage them and say, hey, this is something that might work for you, but this is where we start. And I'm a structure guy, I'm a biostructural guy, so I like to start with the spine and everything, and I love that part. Now, this is all complementary, to what we do, and so that's kind of where I come from. But I do functional wellness, and you kind of think of it like, okay, I want everything to function well.
Yes.
So if everything's functioning well, so that's the kind of direction we go. So I'll give you an example. It's just with cholesterol issues, I'll say, okay, so you have cholesterol issues going on. And again, I have to kind of stay in the middle of the boat here and say, well, it's structurally based, but I do have something going on maybe with the cholesterol issue. And I'll say, okay, where's your cholesterol made in the body, what organ? And they have no clue. And then I said, well, it's the liver. And so they're, well, my medical doctor never told me. Well, because that's never going to be part of the conversation. Exactly. And so you have to educate them and say, what if we take care of your liver and it produces the right amount of cholesterol and everything? And they're like, oh, and you mean I don't have to be on the medication. I don't have to do. So if you engage them like that and let them think for themselves, if you will, and teach the patient how not to be a patient, that's also one of our sayings. Then they like that, but they've never really come across that. And you've got to be the one that kind of comes face to face with them and say, hey, there is an alternative. Now, is there a lot of co-managing, in a lot of cases? Sure. So I don't want people to think, just because you go one way, you can't go the other. Sometimes you got to co-manage, but, and again, anything that's complementary to helping me manage a patient, I'm all in.
Good.
So that's kind of where we
So are you taking new patients to your practice currently?
Yes, absolutely.
And where are you located at?
I'm on Loop 410 in Bandera Road area, right there, between Ingram Park Mall and Bandera Road.
Okay. So for people who may not know that much about chiropractic, like I was saying, I wouldn't have thought the chiropractor could help with headaches, right? Or sinus headaches. What are like the top 3 things that not back pain or neck pain that people might come see you for, like thinking outside the box, abdominal pain, digestive issues, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the main thing is a lot of times there'll be a musculoskeletal disorder, and we kind of chime in on that, and then we might kind of shoot off and say, okay, what other health challenges do you have? And so we can vary from that, and then we'll talk about diet, we'll talk about exercise, and we're definitely going to talk about nutrition. And so that's kind of the alternative situation that you want to look at. And again, we have to engage in San Antonio, again, the vitamin T factor, but we also want to talk about a good, healthy alternative process that most people can do. And if you make it too hard for them, they're not going to do it. It's easy to go take a pill and think that's going to cure all. But we know there's so many side effects, and I have a page that shows the side effects of all the medication. And
It's a
I'll
long
say,
page.
do you know about this? You told me you're taking these things. Do you know about all the side effects? And once they kind of look at that and go, well, I have this too, and I have that. Oh my gosh. And I have, and so it kind of opens their eyes. I'm just, kind of helping them find the way, and then once we do that, then the good thing about chiropractic, in my opinion, biostructural care, is it works fast, but people want, and we are all wanting to get well as quickly as possible. But sometimes there's a process that goes with that.
Yeah.
It's like exercising. You got to hit the gym. You can't just hit it hard for 2 or 3 months, then say, see ya. You got to kind of stay with it.
Yep.
Especially the older we get.
Can you imagine the use of the use of our CBD products with the use of your chiropractic care?
Yeah.
I mean, it
help
would
with
just
the pain, the
oh my
inflammation.
gosh, it could just do amazing
Absolutely.
things.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely amazing things.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. I'm really wanting to engage it. Wanting to see how everything kind of complements each other and it works for it, and I think the patients will really like it as well.
I think so too.
I think they
I'm
do
ready.
too. I think patients are tired of getting a new prescription one after another and not really ever feeling like they know what we're doing, or do we know what we're doing? And
So
really
Sarah
not getting-
Baca actually has a question here. She says, is a tincture the same as a sublingual drop, and what is it best used for? You want to take that one?
Yep. Yes, a tincture is a sublingual drop. That's the way it's administered. So the tincture is just a preparation that, and we want it to mostly get absorbed across the moist inside of the mouth. It's called a mucous membrane, and it absorbs medicines, things really well. Lots of things, as our men know, like dipping and stuff. You get the nicotine really well, the caffeine, just by putting the dip on the inside of your cheek. So you take a dropper full, you take your dose, put it underneath your tongue or inside your cheek, and hold it for about 90 seconds, and then you swallow the rest. And then what was the rest of the question? Is it the same? It is. Yes. So in a nutshell, yes, that was the long answer.
What is it best used for?
So I think it's best used for conditions that aren't just localized to one small area, where you need that relief and the healing, the treating therapeutic abilities to go everywhere, right? So for if I have pain, feeling achy and inflamed because I overexercised or something, then I want it underneath my tongue. I want to absorb it into my body so it can go where it needs to go and everything can be affected. Whereas if, say, I just had a little rash or an ant bite or something, then a cream or a local product would be a better application. And then if you have a really intense degree of pain, then I think under the tongue also, because then that'll have a central acting component, and that's where all pain resides, in the central nervous system.
And then Christine Kruger, she says there's so many people out there that have debilitating pain day in and day out, and simply just need education on CBD. And Christine, that is what we are here for. We're here to get the word out there. So I understand you work in a clinic, and we'd love to sit down and talk to you as well. Our goal is to get the word out through physicians, through healthcare providers, through nurses, firefighters, EMTs, whoever it might be, to get the word out there, to educate individuals like yourself, to make sure that all consumers have access to products like this, because they really are. It's nature's drug. It's not something that we're going out there and creating. It's something that has been put on this earth to help
God put
us.
here for us.
Absolutely.
I think so.
I believe it.
I do too. And I've got presentations coming up where that's like a key part of it, right? Like, why would you restrict us from having access to this plant that grows native everywhere and that has molecules in it that fit receptors in our body that's designed to reduce harm? So that's my one little last plug. Like, please, September, there's a vote at the federal level about expansion of cannabis laws and legalization. So I beg all of you who want cannabis medicine to be broadly expanded, drop an email. If you go to the normal NORML website, just type in your information. It'll tell you who your representatives are, and they've got stock boilerplate letters that you can just drop your information in. You can modify them, or you can have a blank template to write your own words. But let your representatives know that you support this cause, so that they won't be afraid to support it at the state and at the federal level now.
And what we'll do is we'll actually put a link on our show next week, but we'll also put a link on our homepage, on the Empirical webpage. You can actually go to those sites and actually create these letters yourself, submit them to your senator, your congressman, to make sure that those individuals are making the right choices for you as a consumer, to make sure that they can hear your voice, because that's really what it's all about, making sure that their voice is heard.
It matters.
So that your congressmen who are out there representing you and state senators are out there representing you in the way that you want to be represented. So So, everyone's got a voice here. Everyone's got a vote. It's your opportunity to go out there and make a difference.
Yeah,
So,
we're all focused on this big, really ugly election that's going on.
Yeah, we'll
but
stay away from that.
The September election is really, this particular vote that's coming up is a big deal.
It is. It's a really big deal.
Awesome.
So, Dr. Suggs, we want to thank you so much for joining us this week. I know it kind of goes kind of quickly sometimes. Sometimes we talk too much.
No.
I tend to talk too much, but I apologize for that. But I really appreciate you joining us on the show this week. Mike, do we have a winner for this week
Oh,
that
yeah.
we're going to provide them with a lucky 250 milligram tincture?
Christina
Kruger. Awesome.
Woo!
All right, Christina. Well, you're our lucky winner this week. We'll get in contact with you, not only to talk to you about your clinic, but also to get your 250 milligram tincture. So we hope that you really enjoy that. Kimmy, thanks as always for joining us, and Brian is
Thanks, Brian.
Brian has joined us, and
Tanya.
Sarah, Debbie Steinbauer, Becky Sandoval. Gosh, we got all kinds of people on tonight.
Thanks for
Elsa.
tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, it was great, guys. We look forward to seeing you next week. Next week, we do have a couple of other guests. We have Christopher Motz and Desmond Stevenson will be our two special guests next week. So we look forward to having you back with us next week, guys. Please, again, join us 7:30-ish.
Yeah.
We always tend to be a little late, 7:35, 7:40 sometimes.
Yeah.
But we'll get on here, I promise. But we'll see you again next Tuesday night.
Or Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday at the
at the
show.
Bernie.
Bernie Market
Yeah.
Days, guys.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you
tuning
soon.
in.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.